Hey, what's up? It's Jim and I just got back from the new film, Wanderlust. This is the new film directed by David Wayne, a couple, Paul Rudd and Jennifer Aniston, who have just bought a micro loft, and then he loses her job, and so they're broke and they have no money, and they go to Atlanta because he can get a job with his brother. They're there for a little bit, and they discover close to where his brother lives, I guess close, they don't really say how far, I guess relatively close to where his brother lives, there's this commune called Elysium, and they're like kind of freewheeling, the stereotype of hippies, kind of hippies. They spend the night there, and then they go to his brother's, and then his brother's sucks, and it's like super McMansion, suburban America, and they hate it, and so they eventually go to Elysium and live there. This is a very much a comedy, it's a silly comedy. These aren't hippies, really, they're like hippies from kind of mid-60s comedies, like I Love You, Alice P. Tompkins and things. That's the kind of hippies they are. I think the thing with this movie is it's heavy on jokes, light on plot. There's nothing really holding it together. I had a fun time and it's very funny. And I think David Wayne's really good at picking a great cast. Justin Theroux and Alan Alda and Paul Rudd. The thing what he does with the cab, where the cab hits him at the beginning and he's talking on the phone, that was amazing physical comedy. And Paul Rudd's a great actor, and there's a lot of people from Children's Hospital and various other David Wayne things all put together. And Jennifer Aniston, she works very well with this cast. I thought she was pretty good. I think it speaks to her as a comedic actress that she can get along so well with all these other comedic actors who have all worked together and kind of seem to have their own rhythms. I feel like this is as good as it could have possibly been. It's not like a great example of a comedy. It's just a comedy that worked decently in its kind of lame premise and how badly it was made. A lot of Apatow stuff is very light on plot, heavy on jokes, and this film was kind of like the worst with the light on plot, but the jokes were funny enough that I really got through it. Although David Wayne in his younger years was more subversive, I find his directing becoming more and more blander. Like, he's not becoming as eccentric as like he claims to be and as I would like him to be and he once was. He's moving in a direction that's more of a mainstream director, and I got that a lot from Role Models, and that worked for it. And this, if it had been a little more esoteric, a little weirder and stuff like Wet Hot American Summer, I kind of would have liked that a little more, but I've noticed he's kind of staying away from that now. And I don't know, that's the kind of David Wayne I want. I don't really need another mainstream comedy director. David Wayne should be so thankful for the friends he has, because this film would not have worked if he didn't have such a great cast. I did get a little sick of it. I felt like a lot of the jokes were like someone is like determined to stay on some bizarre catchphrase or some weird idiosyncratic thing that they do, and we'd have to see them go and do it for way too long while the other person's like, oh, you're gonna do this again? That's it? You're gonna keep this up? And like, that's funny, but sometimes I'd be like, I wish there was sometimes maybe more of a variety of jokes. It reminds me of something like a cable channel would buy in the early days of cable, because it was a movie that was cheap that no one really liked, like PCU. Like, Comedy Central would always play PCU. Nobody saw PCU in theaters, even though I like PCU. This reminds me of something like that a cable channel would buy and just play to death. I think this would maybe be a little better on cable. I don't know. It's not particularly well shot or anything. I laughed a lot. I think it was really good I laughed a lot, because if I really started to not laugh and really think about the story construction and how this film was made, it wouldn't have such a good review. If you have seen Wanderlust and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.